On August 28, 2005, multitudes fled the Gulf Coast. They prayed their loved ones, and homes would be spared furious Hurricane Katrina, which wreaked havoc from Pascagoula to New Orleans. Even today, tens of thousands still live with family and friends. Some exist in barely habitable houses, in trailers, and even tents. For the most part, faith-based groups and foundations are caring for and rehousing Katrina victims. Volunteers from 35 states and countries at United Methodist work camps in Mississippi have provided 750,000 man-days of labor and restored 12,000 families to their homes. The tragedy is long from being over. Despite outpourings of volunteer labor and money, thousands still await return to their homes. It's estimated that 10 more years may be needed to complete this work in southern Mississippi, and funding sources are declining. Some may wonder, why give your time and travel costs to use limited construction talents? Why not just send money to pay builders? The stories you're about to hear will answer this question. You go to give hope and restore spirits, lives, and homes.
In March, our team was assigned to work on a house in Lucedale, Mississippi. The tornadoes following Katrina wreaked havoc on this house, tearing away its roof and siding and leaving the interior with severe water damage. The authorities condemned the house and declared it a total loss, but homeowner Vicki Wilkerson refused to evacuate. At least 7 people spanning over 4 generations shared this house with Vicki. She had 4 children of her own, but by the time we met her, she had raised 13. Most were related, but some were not. Vicki says that she could never turn away a child in need. And in her time of need, Vicki knew that help wouldn't turn away from her. Inside the Wilkerson home, we tore out all the mismatched wallboard and installed new drywall. We finished the entire kitchen and living room with fresh paint and molding and installed ceiling fans and light fixtures where bare bulbs had been. On the last day, when Vicki discovered her brand new ceiling fan, her eyes welled up with tears. She left the room and returned with what had been their light source for the past 2 years, a lamp cord with a bare bulb held to the ceiling with staples. Moments before our emotional departure, we presented Vicki with a Bible that had been signed by each member of our team. The changes that occurred in just 1 week were incredible. Vicki's family was left with more than simply improved living circumstances. They were feeling renewed, hopeful, and motivated.
Erica loves the home where she grew up. Erica and her husband, now in their late 20s, recently returned to the home her father built to care for her ill mother and 3 younger sisters still in school. Her mother died 2 months before Katrina hit. During Katrina, Erica says, the walls and ceiling of the house breathed, the whole house swaying. This house that Erica loves now has no bathroom, no hot water, water pouring in through the roof whenever it rains, half of the windows and doors missing, raw sewage flowing in 2 open ditches around the house, ceilings collapsing in most rooms, uneven floors that have caved in several places, and the list goes on and on. Yet Erica still loves her house, home to 8 people, including 3 children younger than 4. Until we showed up in March, she had received no aid during the 2.5 years since Katrina. Yet Erica was not bitter, but so appreciative of our help in repairing her battered home.
This is the story of Linda Waxman and the transforming experience that happened at her home. Tony Lamb and his team from a Vermont church had come to do mission work for Katrina victims. Tony started to feel unappreciated. He wondered why he had come hundreds of miles to pick up trash. Surely there were more important things to do. As he grumbled to himself, he started to talk to Mrs. Waxman. "How long have you lived in the little trailer?" She said, "Only a few months." "And who lives with you?" "My mother, my 2 sons, one serving in Iraq, and I." Tony asked where she lived before the trailer. She just looked to the back of the lot. Tony saw a 12 by 12-foot tent and a fire pit. That's where they lived and cooked for 2 years following Katrina. No other basics of life were there. Tony stopped feeling sorry for himself, and Linda Waxman's story still burned in his heart when he returned to Vermont. Tony decided to ask churches for money and volunteers to build Mrs. Waxman a new home. Sometimes God does work in mysterious ways, with the simple task of picking up trash to the financing and building of a new home.
Last spring, when we returned from Mission, Mississippi, we were inspired to sponsor and build our own house. During our Mississippi trip, we worked with several churches from Vermont who were doing just that. The Linda Waxman story inspired what is known as the Vermont House. 16 small churches working together raised $50,000 and over 70 workers to build this house in just 4 weeks. We plan the same thing. A coalition of faith-based groups from Maryland is moving forward with this goal. We hope you're called to join the team and sponsor the Maryland House. Inspire volunteers to give 100 man-weeks of work in Mississippi. Help raise $50,000. That's 10 churches at $5,000 each, and provide prayers and other support. If you go, you'll receive far more than you give. We're going to Mississippi to build a home, but more importantly, to bring hope, restore spirits, faith, and inspire others. The faith community is rebuilding Mississippi and New Orleans. People in Mississippi have no idea why volunteers continue to come, why strangers give their time and vacation, pay their own way, and even raise construction costs restoring their homes. What they see is faith in action, and they are so thankful and appreciative. Recovery from Katrina will take years. We plan to remain part of that recovery process. We need your help in this journey of faith, and we especially need your hands in Mississippi.